Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nosa Capital, coming to you on a rather cold evening from the Southern Hemisphere. Ladies and gentlemen, or should I say Kawabunga, ladies and gentlemen. This is what everybody has been waiting for. The big moves in crypto. Unfortunately, things have dampened down a little bit this evening compared with earlier today, where we were getting about almost $120,000 a gain on Bitcoin. But Solana showed us something in the 190s, Ethereum 3008, even the mighty Binance went from its flatline sort of style to where it is now. But anyway, as always, let's start with Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, we've got 1, 2, 3, because there's 2 here because they have the overlap here, 4 and 5 areas of demand, which means these are buying areas. Currently, the price has kind of fallen a bit. It's now $117,212 as compared with this morning where we had about almost 120. I think it was 119,745. Nevertheless, it's still all good because what we have here is some sideways trading in Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin still has a chance of getting to maybe 130. I think I posited about at most 150, but I think we'll be up before the end of the year. But as I'm not expecting 200,000, 250,000 now, except something really dramatic happens. I'm not expecting that. I was going to put on the Ichimoku, but there's absolutely no need. This is definitely bullish, no question about that. And you can see that the volume profile here shows you some fairly even volume and some sort of areas of trough here, which, as I've always told you, price moves through very, very quickly. Looking at this, I'm still expecting Bitcoin to hit about 130, and then maybe we'll get a major sort of pullback. But we'll just have to wait and see. Worst case scenario, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, if things really go sideways, I do not expect us to fall below this area here between 107 and 109. I think that will be it. Maybe you could toss in about 105 if you really want to be pedantic, right at the point of control here, which is where the heaviest amount of trading has taken place, because this is the area here, as you can see. But at worst case scenario, maybe 105, and I think we'll be okay. No need to despair. We're having a good innings. I think we should enjoy it. Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's move on to Binance. As you can see, most of Binance has been sideways trading, and now it's sort of taken off. Now, if you remember in the last video, I showed you some areas of supply which have literally disappeared. These are now areas of demand, as you can see here. So these are buying areas. Volume profile, as you can see, is right in the middle here. Look at that. Look at how it's chunked up right there, because as you know, it has been trading sideways for quite a while and within a certain range. And now it's taken off, hence the low volume here. So don't be surprised. It could go even higher very quickly. Highest price today was at about 781.99, almost 782, with a low of 746. Current price is about 762. I expect it to continue to be strong and not really let up. Time will tell, but I think that I think things are going to happen. One thing I must say, some people are already talking about the alt season. Looking at the alt season gauge, I saw, I think yesterday, I think it was about 47. So to give you some idea, on the alt season gauge, if 0 to 25 means that's Bitcoin season, 26 to 74 is neutral, and 75 to 100 is altcoin season. Now at the moment we're at about 51. I think we'll just double check it before we finish this video, and then that will tell us if we are in the alt season or not. But at the moment we are neutral, so do not expect any major extreme prices from the altcoins at the moment. But anyway, let's move on. We've got Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has come on very strong. This is first of our cryptos that has got an area of supply, which is currently between 3,881 and 4,109. I still believe that this area will be broken. It's a strong high, and I believe it's going to be broken with enough volume momentum. We've got our area point of control here is at about 2,519, strongest area here. We've got a few troughs, as you can see here and here. And our areas of demand are further down the price action, which is down at, I think the lowest is down to about 1,383. Excuse me. Now, I expect this to hit 4,000 before we see any major retracement, but only time will tell. Now, if there's enough volume momentum, it might even break that. I don't believe, I think Ethereum has broken a much bigger area of supply, so I think breaking this area is not going to be too difficult with enough momentum. After about 4,000, after about 4,100, between 4,001 and 4,002, I'm not quite sure. Some are already calling for 5,000. Maybe we hit 5,000 before the end of the year. But at the current gauge rate, as I've told you, the last time I checked, the altcoin season showed an indication of at about 47, between 47 and about 51. And as I've just said earlier, that's in the neutral zone, so we should not expect any major extremes in terms of the price action for Ethereum. But let's just see how things go. You never know with the crypto industry. Okay, so let's move on to Solana. In Solana, okay, we've got two areas of demand here and two areas of supply. Now, there's a rather larger area of supply which is already broken. And this is the next one. Now, as you can see, the price action here, it hit that spot and it started coming back. Current price is about 195.02 cents. Earlier today, it was 199.48 cents. So I thought it was going to hit the 200. I believe in some of the other exchanges, it did hit $200. Based on the amount of work that is going on in Solana, based on the amount of movement, particularly the pair trading from Ethereum into Solana, worst case scenario, in my opinion, Solana should be at least $300. Unfortunately, it is not. So I consider this a buying opportunity. Now, I did say to you a while ago that any price under $200 is a good buy. I'm going to have to look at this again to regauge to see, have you missed it at the moment? If there's no show of momentum, then I would say you should hold your horses, except you're going to be pair trading, i.e. maybe from a weaker, maybe from a stronger to a weaker coin. So for instance, if you're pair trading, I think Solana BTC or Solana and Ethereum, you might find that I think Ethereum was showing some more strength than Solana, hence, which meant that you could get a lot more Solana. But we will see. We'll look at it and discuss it sometime in the near future. But anyway, let's move on to SUI. And in SUI, okay, SUI is now, we've got two areas of demand, three areas of supply, because there's an overlap here, as we can see. So, is it even? Yeah, 3 years of supply, because there's an overlap. Okay, things have strengthened, and as you can see, this is the area it needs to break. It needs to break $4 and about 29 to sort of really start hitting the $5 or more. Very strong currency. The last video I did mention of a comparative study that was done between SUI and SEI from Invest Answers. I think you should watch it. I think it's going to be very fascinating, and maybe it might give you some ideas on what the next position you might want to take. As we can see, volume profile fairly even right through. Point of control at about $2.26. It's going to be a little while before we see that again, I think. As again, except something dramatic happens. Once again, I remind you that the altcoin season is not here yet. So be patient for that. Okay. Let's have a look at Moodeng. Let's hide the Chimoku. Okay. Moodeng, remember what I said, it came off its all-time lows here, increased in price, got up to this area here, and that area of supply was too strong. There wasn't enough volume momentum. It came back. Currently trading at about, let's see, what's it trading at? 20 cents 67. And earlier today, the high, it traded at a high of 21 cents 60. So far, it's not showing, it's trading sideways. It's not showing much muscle, but if it can break, if it breaks this area here, if Moodeng should break 28 cents, then it's going to hit, definitely without any question about it, it's going to hit about 31, 32 cents. And who knows, there might be enough volume momentum for it to break through. If it does break through that this area here, which is at about 44, then it might be on its way back to the all-time high. As I've said before, for those of you speculators, you could have bought down here, and I kept talking about it. But if you're a long-term holder, you're gonna have to be you're gonna be patient. You're gonna have to dig deep, be patient, and wait. People are already talking about Moodeng again, but we'll wait and see if Moodeng gets swept up within the altcoin season. Okay. Next is WIF. Again, also bullish. You can see with the Ichimoku here. Let's just hide that very quickly. It hit its all-time low in this area here. I told people, speculators, to come in and sell at in the first area of supply or more if they could squeeze out a bit more. Current price is at what's the current price? Current price is $1.22. If it breaks the $1, let's see, the $1.39, $1.40, you could easily see it hitting about 174 and maybe even going on and even breaking this area of supply at about 199. Now, if it does that, then there's nothing stopping, WIF going back even to the all-time high. As you can see, shown on the volume profile, everything, the activity is down here. And this area is just extremely sparse. And I've always told you, it means that the price action moves up and down very, very quickly. Okay. Finally, Pi. Let's see. You got 1, 2, 3 areas, all areas of demand. That's not particularly encouraging. Current price for Pi is about 45 cents. I think this is going to be the bottom, the final bottom for this. I remember in some earlier videos, I thought 60 was going to be, and 60 was it for quite a while, and now it's fallen to 45. Not quite sure why it's doing that, but I think for those of you who are going to speculate, this is a very good opportunity to speculate. And this, if it breaks, let's see, first spot of call, breaking about 75, and then going on to break about, let's see, 86, 87, it could zoom up to at least this area about $1.66. But it's going to have to break those two areas first before we can see any major action on this particular cryptocurrency. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my concluding statements. As you can see, we've not done that much analysis, just really looked at our price action, and that's just deliberate on my part. I prefer to look at that, and I prefer to look at those areas of demand and supply to see the possibilities. Most of what's happening is going to depend on how strong the volume momentum is. So far, so good. Things are not too bad. I am worried though. I'm worried in the sense that there is nothing the way the markets are moving, I can't really sink my hook into anything major. I'm a bit concerned about the price action and how things are going right across the board, not just in crypto, but also in the share prices. I'm a little bit concerned, but maybe I'm overly concerned. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see how the markets proceed. I don't know, with the schizophrenia coming from the President of the United States, with his and the uncertainty in the markets, all sorts of stuff, the wars, everything. It just kind of makes me feel a little bit uneasy. I'm not quite sure why. I'm sorry to sort of conclude today's Rough and Ready with this type of statements, but I'm just concerned. If anything crops up that I see that I need to tell you, I'll definitely get it to you. So worry not about that. I will definitely get that history to you if it's necessary. Anyway, that's me. So, as always, keep your eyes and ears open and your trading sharp. Have a good one. Bye.